Hey guys, I just wanted to give you a review on my 2022 Giant Fathom 29.2. It's about a year now since I bought it, almost a year I would say. And I am not, let me just tell you, certainly not a mountain biker. And as you can see, I'm riding it on this kind of like light gravel. I've used the bike on very muddy paths and some with rocks and some building areas, you know, where they're building along the river. Mainly I ride it on the road, and so when you listen to my review of it, take that into account, that I am no mountain biker, and this bike has in no way been pushed anywhere near its limits, and I'm still having problems with it. And so this is a review stroke rant. So if you own one of these and you love it, maybe you want to turn off now. But if you are somebody who wants to know the truth about some of these bikes, or if you are thinking of buying the 2023 model, you don't need to watch any more than what I'm going to tell you now, but I would like you to, obviously. It is CRAP, crap. And for those of you who might think that that's a bad word, in the UK we think of it as a word used for something that is below, a certain quality, inferior quality. And that's what I would call this bike. It is crap. And I'm gonna give you some of the good things first, and then go through the other things that I really think have been terrible on this bike. And so let me just show you the good things. Let me tell you the good things. The tires. The tires are great. They are overkill for what I need them for. Like I got a Maxxis Minion on the front, and on the back you've got the Maxxis Aggressor. And so I've never lacked grip anywhere that I've gone on any kind of surface. So that's the tires. They're really good. I got nothing bad to say about those. They're not really what I need though for what I'm doing, but yeah, I can't really criticize that. What else? Through axles. Yeah, you get through axles on this bike, and I know that might sound strange to say, but I was looking at many even more expensive and they didn't have through axles. So that is definitely a bonus, having through axles on the bike. It came ready, it was tubeless ready. They'd already put the sealant in when it came to me. So that was another good thing. What else? I'm starting to struggle a bit here now to tell you anything good. I guess the Dior derailleur, it has a clutch system on it. It's 10 speed, this bike. So for a 2022 model, I think that's pretty poor. Now, everything's 12 speed on mountain bikes, as far as I know anyway. And the Dior shifter at the front here, that has been trouble free. So those, I think that's all of the good things. I'm really struggling, and those are not really part of the bike, like the tires anyway. They're not really an integral, well, they are an integral part of the bike, but not part of the whole system, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway, I'm digging myself into a hole here. The things I don't like. The number one thing I hate on this bike, and which is absolute crap, and that is the crest fork. Giant, you need to sack the person who created this monstrosity. I'm telling you, it's useless. I haven't even pushed it to any kind of limits, and it's locked now. You can see it's locked, or I'll show you that it's locked. And I will do a bit of video and put it in here to show you when I'm riding that it's still, it still actually is going up and down. It's not actually locked. So I don't know what it's supposed to be doing. This fork, by the way, has 130 mil of travel. So it's a reasonable amount, and it's more than enough for me. But you know, once it's locked, as far as I'm aware, that should be it. It shouldn't be moving anywhere. But yeah, I can still make it, you know, like the fork will still go up and down. And so there is a big fault with that. What else don't I like? Aha, this pile of poo as well. This Praxis chain set and BB. I don't know what's going on there in that thing, but that is the biggest turd I've ever seen on a bike. For ages it was just making clunking sounds. Now it's clicking all over the place when I'm pedaling. It's like click, click, click every rotation of the pedals. So there's something going on in there. I've had a few chain drops on it, and very innocuous ones where I'm just going up a hill, and I've already changed, and like 10 seconds later it just drops off. And that's happened to me a few times. What else? This seat post clamp. I know some of these things you might think are small things, but they're all part of what you pay for. And this is a quick release seat post clamp. Yeah, and you can never get it right. It's either too, you know, if you screw it in too much, it's actually hard to actually use the quick release to push it, to tighten it, or to pull it to open it up again. Why they didn't just put a normal clamp on there with, you know, something with a hex key on it that you could tighten up, I don't know. It's obviously to do with money. So that's another thing. Also, the seat itself is a dropper, you know, like the seat post is a dropper post. But that actually collapsed on me while I was riding. It just collapsed inside. You know, I'm not saying that's Giant's fault, but whoever put it together didn't put it together correctly. And it just dropped inside the frame while I was cycling. And you can probably see here a bit of silver there. That was where it came down and smacked it, you know, when actually it just collapsed inside. And so it's damaged the top of that. I know that's not much, but you know, you don't expect that. That was pretty early on in owning the bike, and then I had to fix it myself. So that's, you know, it's up. It doesn't work as a dropper now because, as you can see in the front here, this is the actual dropper cable here. But when I was trying to pull a seat post out, I had to loosen. I've actually taken the actual lever off for the dropper post, but I actually had to unloosen it so I could pull the seat out, and then the whole cable came through. So that's my fault. I'll hold my hands up to that. But if the seat hadn't collapsed, that wouldn't have happened anyway. And so I don't know who the comedian is who put this bike together, but the whole thing just collapsed on me, and I could have had an accident. I'm just recovering from an accident now, and I could have had an accident on this one as well. So that's another thing. Yeah, I'm not impressed with that dropper post, or you know, even when I took it apart, it seemed very cheap. And put it back together. So it's back together and it'll work, but it just needs a cable. So there's that. The brakes, the brake levers, those are Tektro. Yeah, so you're not actually getting full Shimano or anything here, as you can obviously see. Tektro levers, and here we got Tektro hydraulic brakes as well. And for what I'm doing, I can't really complain about them, you know. For what I'm doing, I think they're just dual piston ones. Yeah, remember, I'm not a mountain biker. I don't know a lot about mountain biking. I only bought this because I had like a trapped nerve in my neck last year, and I couldn't ride my two other bikes, which were drop handlebar bikes, because it was causing too much trouble. So I thought, if I get a mountain bike, you know, with a higher position, it will help me. And I didn't want to stop riding, so I carried on riding with this. So yeah, remember, I'm not a mountain biker, but for me those brakes are more than enough. But if I was a mountain biker, you know, like hardcore mountain biker, and I was riding trails, those would be off immediately, because they are not good enough for that. And so yeah, that's another thing, I guess you could say, I don't like. It's okay, like I say, for what I'm doing. And as you can see, a true roadie uses road pedals on a mountain bike. Don't hate me for it. I haven't got any SPD shoes or cleats or pedals. Or actually, I have got some pedals, but I haven't got any shoes or anything, or any of the cleats. So yeah, that's another thing. What else can I... This is a minor thing, I guess. The seat. Like, all of this area was black. Yeah, all of it, on both sides. But after about 2 weeks of riding, and your, you know, the inner thighs rubbing against it, all the blacks come off, and all it does now is look messy. Why didn't they just make it all grey, the saddle? You know, I just don't understand what they're doing. It's some kind of vinyl they put on top of it, and it just peels off quite quickly. So that's another thing that I'm not impressed with. The seat is okay comfort wise, but as we know, saddles are all personal. So yeah, there we are. What else? Is there anything else? I think I've slated this bike enough anyway. I've also noticed that these things here, they corroded. Let me show you. The bolts, you know, for the water bottle holder. And if you can just see under the water bottle, or if I take it out, the bike will probably drop. But if you can see under there, that bolt is rusty as well. And I know it's a year, but they were like that after about a month. And it makes me think, what kind of crappy bolts are they putting on these things? And the biggest joke of the lot is this bike has gone up so many times here in Korea. Like, when I saw this originally, it was under 1 million Korean won, this bike, this Fathom. And then I bought it. Let me tell you how much I paid for it. I paid 1,290,000 Korean won. And then not long after that, it went up to 1,380 Korean won. And I just looked the other day, and the craziness of all of this is it's now 1,640,000 Korean won. I'll have to find out what those are in USD, but it's like, it's got to be the last rise on this bike in price must be, let me see, 260, about 260. Yeah, so it's got to be $200. It's just gone up again. It must be around that, 260 Korean won. So it's gone up about $200 just recently, and it's the same spec. Everything's the same bike. And yeah, you might think I should be happy, you know, I paid less for it and now it's worth more. And if I wanted to, well, I don't think I could sell it. It's so bad, this bike. I'd feel guilty selling it to anyone. But Giant don't feel guilty selling it to you. So yeah, this is a real rant, I know. Don't hate me for this video if you have one of these. If you do and you're having the same problems, then I'd like to hear in the comments section. But for me, wow, I'm just flabbergasted by this thing. And now it makes me angry that other people, the wind just has to pick up, doesn't it? That other people now are going to be faced with paying another couple of $100 on top for the same spec. If they're paying that, they should get, you know, 12 speed, and it should be a full group set in my opinion for that price. Because 1.6, how much is that in USD? I don't know. It's trying to make conversions is quite difficult, but probably $1,300, $1,400 maybe, something like that. Anyway, rant over. That's all I can say about it. As you can see, I'm not impressed by this pile of junk. And Giant, if you're watching, or any of your minions are watching, please give me my money back and take this thing off my hands. Yes, do you hear? Okay guys, very, very negative one, I know. Maybe I've been a bit harsh. If I have, please tell me in the comments. I'm sure you will anyway. People don't hold back in the comments. If you think I have been harsh, say, and yeah, if you think I was quite reasonable. I've just thought of another thing that I hate on this bike. Just before I go, look at these stupid, idiotic things here. Look at this. These things here, and look at this one on the other side. It's completely out. That was something that I was thinking about and I just forgot. They're completely out, and I've tried putting them back in and they come out, or put them back in, they come out. Oh, you know, can't you, please, bike companies, can't you do something right? Please. You know, it's such a simple thing. A bike is such a simple thing, but I haven't been able to buy a new bike without any problems for the last, well, since 2016. I've had 2 Cannondales and I've had problems with both of them, and now this one. And this has been, well, I think I used to love Giant. In 2011 I had a Giant TCR and I loved it and I never had any problems, but now they're scraping the barrel with their parts. They don't care about the customer anymore. They're continually putting their prices up and trying to excuse it, you know, on COVID, and now they'll probably say it's about the Russian war. And yeah, I'm sure there's some truth to it, but you know, the prices have been going up year on year and probably biannually. A couple of times a year they've been going up. Anyway, I need to stop the rant now. It's making me angry just thinking about this thing. Anyway guys, I hope this is helpful to you. I will put some other information on, another bit of video, and you'll be able to hear the clicking, and I'll show you the fork as well. You'll be able to see how it keeps on going up and down even when it's locked. So thanks for watching as always, and I will speak to you again. Bye.